Welcome back, my cosmic fireflies. Cosmic Mistress here. Today we're going to read The Master Key System by Charles T. Haanel. I'm listening to the audiobook and was just thinking, I need to really read this book. The introduction. Nature compels us all to move through life. We could not remain stationary however much we wished. Every right-thinking person wants not merely to move through life like a sound-producing, preambulating plant, but to develop, to improve, and to continue the development mentally to the close of physical life. This development can occur only through the improvement of the quality of individual thought and the ideals, actions, and conditions that arise as a consequence. Hence, a study of the creative processes of thought and how to apply them is of supreme importance to each one of us. This knowledge is the means whereby the evolution of human life on earth may be hastened and uplifted in the process. Humanity ardently seeks the truth and explores every avenue to it. In this process, it has produced a special literature which ranges the whole gamut of thought, from the trivial to the sublime, up from the divination through all the philosophies to the final lofty truth of the Master Key. The Master Key is here given to the world as a means of tapping the great cosmic intelligence and attracting from it all that which corresponds to the ambitions, aspirations of each reader. Everything and institution we see around us, created by human agency, had first to exist as a thought in some human mind. Thought, therefore, is constructive. Human thought is the spiritual power of the cosmos operating through its creature, man. I'm going to read that again. Thought, therefore, is constructive. Human thought is the spiritual power of the cosmos operating through its creature, man. The Master Key instructs the reader how to use that power and use it both constructively and creatively. The things and conditions we desire to become realities, we must first create in thought. The Master Key explains and guides the process. The Master Key teaching has hitherto been published in the form of a correspondence course of 24 lessons, delivered to students one per week for 24 weeks. The reader who now receives the whole 24 parts as at one time is warned not to attempt to read the book like a novel, but to treat it as a course of study and conscientiously to imbibe the meaning of each part, reading and rereading one part only per week before proceeding to the next. Otherwise, the latter parts will tend to be misunderstood, and the reader's time and money will be wasted. Used as thus instructed, the Master Key will make of the reader a greater, better personality, and equipped with a new power to achieve any worthy personal purpose and a new ability to enjoy life's beauty and wonder. F. H. Burgess. The foreword. Some men seem to attract success, power, wealth, attainment with very little conscious effort. Others conquer with great difficulty. Still others fail altogether to reach their ambitions, desires, and ideals. Why is this so? Why should some men realize their ambitions easily, and others with difficulty, and others not at all? The cause cannot be physical, else the most perfect man, physically, would be the most successful. The difference, therefore, must be mental, must be the mind. Hence, mind must be the creative force, must constitute the sole difference between men. It is mind, therefore, which overcomes environment and every other obstacle in the path of men. When the creative power of thought is fully understood, its effects will be seen to be marvelous. But such results cannot be secured without proper application, diligence, and concentration. The student will find that the laws governing in the mental and spiritual world are as fixed and infallible as in the material world. To secure the desired results, then, it is necessary to know the law and to comply with it. A proper compliance with the law will be found to produce the desired result with invariable exactitude. The student who learns that power comes from within, that he is weak only because he has depended on help from the outside, and who unhesitatingly throws himself on his own thought, instantly rights himself, stands erect, assumes a dominant attitude, and works miracles. The student who learns that power comes from within, that he is weak only because he has depended on the help from the outside, and who is unhesitatingly throws himself on his own thought, instantly rights himself, stands erect, and assumes a dominant attitude and works miracles. It is evident, therefore, that he who fails to fully investigate and take advantage of the wonderful progress which is being made in the last and greatest science will soon be as far behind as man who would refuse to acknowledge and accept the benefits which have accrued to mankind through the understanding of the law of electricity. Of course, mind creates negative conditions just as readily as favorable conditions. And when we are consciously or unconsciously visualize every kind of lack, limitation, and discord, we create these conditions. This is what many are unconsciously doing all the time. This law, as well as every other law, is no respecter of persons, but is in constant operation and is relentlessly bringing to each individual exactly what he has created. In other words, whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. Abundance, therefore, depends on a recognition of the laws of abundance and the fact that mind is not only the creator, but only the creator of all there is, but the only creator of all there is. Shall we? I read that again. Where's the beginning of this sentence? Okay. This law, as well as every other law, is no respecter of persons, but is in constant operation and is relentlessly bringing to each individual exactly what he has created. In other words, whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. Abundance, therefore, depends upon a recognition of the laws of abundance and the fact that mind is not only the creator, but the only creator of all there is. Mind is not only the creator, but the only creator of all there is. Certainly nothing can be created before we know that it can be created and then make the proper effort. There is no more electricity in the world today than there was 50 years ago. But until someone recognized the laws by which it could be made of service, we received no benefit. Now that the law is understood, practically the whole world is lit by it. So the law of abundance, it is only those who recognize the law and place themselves in harmony with it, who share it in its benefits. The scientific print now dominates every field of effort. Relations of cause and effect are no longer ignored. The discovery of a region of law marked on an epoch in the human progress. It's eliminated the element of uncertainty and caprice in men's lives and substituted law, reason, and servitude. Men now understand that for every result there is an adequate and definite cause, so that when a given result is desired, they seek the condition by which alone this result may be attained. The basis upon which all law rests was discovered by inductive reasoning, which consists of comparing a number of separate instances with one another until the common factor which gives rise to them all is seen. It is this method of study to which the civilized nations owe the greater part of their prosperity and the more valuable part of their own knowledge. It has lengthened life, it has mitigated pain, it has spanned rivers, it has brightened the night with the splendor of day, extended the range of vision, accelerated motion, annihilated distance, facilitated intercourse, and enabled men to descend into the sea and into the air. What wonder then that men should soon endeavored to extend the blessing of this system of study to their method of thinking, so that when it became plainly evident that certain results followed a particular method of thinking, it only remained to classify these results. This method is scientific, and it is the only method by which we shall be permitted to retain that degree of liberty and freedom, by which we shall be permitted to retain that degree of liberty and freedom which we have been accustomed to look upon as inalienable right, because a people is safe at home and in the world only if national preparedness mean such things as growing surplus of health, accumulated efficiency in public and private business of whatever sort, continuous advance in the science and the art of acting together, and the increasingly dominant endeavor to make all that these and all other aspects of national development center and revolve about ascending life, single and collective, for which science, art, and ethics furnish guidance and controlling motives. The master key is based on absolute scientific truth and will unfold the possibilities that lie dormant in the individual and teach how they may be brought into powerful action to increase the person's effective capacity, bringing added energy, discernment, vigor, and mental elasticity. The student who gains an understanding of the mental laws which are unfolded will come into the possession of an ability to secure results hitherto undreamed of, and which has rewards hardly to be expressed in words. Which has rewards hardly to be expressed in words. It explains the correct use of both the receptive and the active elements of the mental nature, and instructs the students in the recognition of opportunity. It strengthens the will and reasoning powers, and teaches the cultivation and best urge uses of imagination, desire, and emotions, and the institutional, nope, intuitional, intuitional faculty. It gives initiative, tenacity of purpose, wisdom of choice, intellect, sympathy, and a thorough enjoyment of life on its higher planes. The Master Key teaches us the use of mind power, true mind power, not any of the substitutes and perversions. It has nothing to do with hypnotism, magic, or any of the more or less fascinating deceptions by which many are led to think that something can be had for nothing. The Master Key cultivates and develops an understanding which will enable you to control the body and therefore the health. It improves and strengthens the memory. It develops insight, the kind of insight which is so rare, the kind which is the distinguishing characteristic of every successful businessman or woman, the kind which enables men to see the possibilities as well as the difficulties in every situation, the kind which enables men to discern opportunity close at hand, for thousands fail to see opportunities almost within their grasp, while they are industriously working with situations which under no possibility can be made to realize any substantial return. The Master Key develops mental power, which means that the others instinctively recognize that you are a person of force, of character, that they want to do what you want them to do. It means that you attract men and things to you, that you are what some people call lucky. I'm so lucky, everything is always working out for me. That things come your way, that you have come into an understanding of the fundamental laws of nature, and that have put yourself in harmony with them, that you are in tune with the infinite, that you understand the laws of attraction, the natural laws of growth, and the psychological laws on which all advantages in the social and business world rest. Mental power is creative power. It gives you the ability to create for yourself. It does not mean the ability to take something away from someone. Nature never does things that way. Nature makes two blades of grass grow where one grew before. The mind power enables men to do the same thing. The Master Key develops insights and sagacity, increased independence, the ability and disposition to be helpful. It destroys distrust, depression, fear, melancholia, and every form of lack, limitation, and weakness, including pain and disease. It awakens buried talents, supplies initiative, force, energy, vitality. It awakens an appreciation of the beautiful in art, literature, and science. It has changed the lives of thousands of men and women by substituting definite principles for uncertain and hazy methods. The principles for the foundation upon which every system of efficiency must rest. Elbert Gary, the chairman of the United States Steel Corporation, said, "The services of advisors, instructors, efficiency experts in successful management are indispensable to most business enterprises of magnitude. But I deem the recognition and adoption of right principles vastly more important." The master teaches right principles and suggests methods for making a practical application of the principles, in that it differs from every other course of study. It teaches that the only possible value for which can attach to any principle is in its application. Many read books, take home study courses, attend lectures, and listen and watch YouTube videos all their lives without ever making any progress in demonstrating the value of the principles involved. The Master Key suggests methods by which the value of the principles taught may be demonstrated and put in actual practice in the daily experience. There is a change in the thought of the world. This change is silently transpiring in our midst and is more important than any which the world has undergone since the downfall of paganism. The present revolution in the opinions of all classes of men, the highest and most cultured of men, as well as those of the laboring class, stands unparalleled in the history of the world. Science has of late made such vast discoveries, has revealed such an infinity of resources, has unveiled such enormous possibilities, and such unsuspected forces that scientific men more and more hesitate to affirm certain theories as established and indubitable, or to deny certain other theories as absurd or impossible. And so a new civilization is being born. Customs, creeds, and cruelty are passing. Vision, faith, and service are taking their place. The fetters of tradition are being melted off from humanity, and as the dross of materialism is being consumed, thought is being liberated and truth is rising full orbed before an astonished multitude. The whole world is on the eve of a new consciousness, a new power, a new sources, new consciousness, a new power, a new realization, and new resources within the self. The last century saw the most magnificent material progress in history. The present century will produce the greatest progress in mental and spiritual power. Physical science has resolved matter into molecules, molecules into atoms, atoms into energy, and it has remained for Sir Ambrose Fleming in an address before the Royal Institution to resolve this energy into mind. He says, in its ultimate essence, energy may be incomprehensible by us except as an exhibition of the direct operation of that which we call mind or will. Let us see what are the most powerful forces in nature. In the mineral world, everything is solid and fixed. In the animal and vegetable kingdom, it is a state of flux, forever changing, always being created and recreated. In the atmosphere, we find heat, light, and energy. Each realm becomes finer and more spiritual as we pass from the visible to the invisible, from the coarse to the fine, from the low potentiality to the high potentiality. When we reach the invisible, we find energy in its purest and most volatile state. And as the most powerful forces of nature are invisible forces, so we find that the most powerful forces of man are in his invisible forces, his spiritual force. The only way in which the spiritual force can manifest is through the process of thinking. Thinking is the only activity which the spirit possesses, and thought is the only product of thinking. Addition and subtraction are therefore spiritual transactions. Reasoning is a spiritual process. Ideas are spiritual. Conceptions, questions are spiritual. Searchlights and logic, argument and philosophy is spiritual machinery. Every thought brings into action certain physical tissue, parts of the brain, nerve, or muscle. This produces an actual physical change in the construction of the tissue. Therefore, it is only necessary to have a certain number of thoughts on a given subject in order to bring about a complete change in the physical organization of a man. This is the process by which failure is changed to success. Thoughts of courage, power, inspiration, harmony are substituted for thoughts of failure, despair, lack and limitation, and discord. And as these thoughts take root, the physical tissue is changed, and the individual sees life in a new light. Old things have actually passed away. All things have become anew. He is born again, this time born of spirit. Life has a new meaning for him. He is reconstructed and is filled with joy, confidence, hope, energy. He sees opportunities for success for which he was therefore heretofore blind. He recognizes possibilities which before had no meaning for him. The thoughts of success with which he has been impregnated are radiated to those around him, and they in turn help him onward and upward. He attracts to him new and successful associates, and this in turn changes his environment, so that by the simple exercise of thought, a man changes not only himself, but his environment, circumstances, and conditions. You will see, you must see, that we are all at the dawn of a new day, that the possibilities are so wonderful, so fascinating, so limitless, as to be almost bewildering. A century ago, a man with a Gatling gun could have annihilated a whole army equipped with the implements of warfare then in use. So it is at present, and the man with the knowledge of the possibilities contained in the master key has an inconceivable advantage over the multitude. Okay, that was the end of the foreword. Now it's part 1. So, what did we get out of that Holy Toledo. So this book was written a long time ago. So, the languaging is very special. Very special. It doesn't say. Maybe it's in the back. I mean, this was printed in 2004. But, so listen, it was written a long time ago. I want to say 18 something. The power of your mind. This is conscious conditioning. This is feeling, seeing, hearing, believing. Your beliefs, your thoughts create a belief. Your belief creates an action. An action creates your way of being or your personality. You have to have an emotional regulation of where you are in control, and you are focusing your mind, focusing your emotional set point on a higher frequency and a higher vibration. And so this can look like when you feel yourself spiral, you have to catch yourself. You have to pull yourself out of the spiral, the downward spiral, go in the upward spiral all day. You have to take that internal inquiry and that understanding of self and use the mind for good. And this is also what I do in hypnosis, is we get to consciously create. You're already unconsciously being hypnotized by the media, by your peers, by the people around you. Don't let them tell you who you are, because they're living in their own perceived limitation. The Master Key System is going to teach us how to step into our power and how to believe we are powerful and how to trust ourselves and our own sovereignty, that we get to be successful, that we have a say, we have a choice in the matter. That's in our power. To plug back into your power somewhere along the way, probably in your childhood, began from the moment of inception to 7 years old, your power was taken away. Whether there was a break with your parentals, the union, the distrust, the betrayal, if there was that creates a fragment. That trauma, that time they yelled at you and you were so young and you didn't understand and you didn't, it caught you by surprise, you didn't deserve it. Whatever the imprint is that it made, whatever the kind of like the little wound that it created, there's another word I'm looking for. That is why you lost that current within yourself. It got fragmented. It got derailed. It got distracted. It got off put. And then you put up like a protection. You put up a block to protect yourself, a mental block and a physical block. A mental block is your mind trying to protect you, trying to keep you safe. You are a wild animal. Your body and your mind are just trying to keep you safe and keep you alive. That's their job. And keep you, yeah. So to consciously decide to tell yourself how you're going to be kept safe, not by creating unconscious coping mechanisms, but rather to create conscious thought forms, consciously controlling your emotions. That is what everyone, I'm sure if you found this channel, you're obviously on this path. That is what Wayne Dyer says. That is what Abraham Hicks says. That's what Eckhart Tolle says. That's what Carolyn Myss is saying. That is what all the great spiritual teachers are saying. Everybody's kind of saying the same thing. Krishnamurti, he says the same thing. Peter Crone is saying it. It's just, you get to create this. Vishen Lakhiani, Regan Hillier, who do I get emails from? Jeffrey Allen. It's working with your own energy. Energy is invisible. Your mind is energy in motion. Thought is energy in motion. It's movement, so is emotion. Stay focused. Tell yourself what you want to think. Tell yourself what you want to believe. Tell yourself what you want to hear. That's the master key. Do we even have to read the book now? Yes, because application. Application. The kitty just came in the door. Okay. Have a beautiful one. Thanks for joining me for this Cosmic Mistress reading. You know, if you like it, share it, subscribe, click the little bell thing.